You're listening to The Grip, where we take hold of mindset and martial arts. Now, let's get started. Welcome back to The Grip. Today we're diving into one of our special mini episodes where we mix things up with a few fast-paced segments. We'll kick things off with Grip and Go, a round of rapid-fire questions to loosen things up and to get to know our guest in a fun way. Then we'll move into Roll Call, where I bring in questions straight from you, our listeners and audience. That way the guest can tackle what's on your mind. And to wrap it all up, we'll finish with Word into Wisdom. In this segment, the guest picks a number between 1 and 100. That number ties to a word from the NICE list, which can be motivational and uplifting terms, and the naughty list, the gritty, tough, and sometimes challenging words. Once revealed, the guest unpacks the word, sharing their personal definition and how it's shown up in their life or martial arts journey, and what wisdom they take from it. That's it. 3 rounds, 1 conversation. Let's get into it. Alrighty, we are back with Ron Amram on The Grip, and today we are doing a mini episode. And so if you haven't already, go back and listen to our main episode. It's a good one. There are so many golden nuggets when it comes to just martial arts, self-defense, and just everything that Ron is doing in Australia. So go watch or listen to that. But for now, we are going to dive into a more rapid pace mini episode series. And so what we're going to start with, Ron, is our Grip and Go series. Okay, so these are our rapid fire questions that we'll just run through. So our first one we have is gi or no gi?
No gi.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Do you train both?
I do.
Yes. Okay.
I actually found, funnily enough, why I find no gi more applicable in the context of what I train for, which is MMA and self-defense. Like, yes, with gi, you can practice your grips, and if they have the jacket and blah, 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 that's the what if. More applicable, I might not have great grips, or I grab the shirt in your ribs, it doesn't serve me as well.
Yeah.
So definitely no gi.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite cheat meal?
All of them.
Are you a sweet or a salty?
No, definitely not a sweet. Yeah, no, salty.
Okay. Like savory?
Like burgers, pizzas, Indian food.
Yeah.
Chinese. Yeah, take your pick.
Okay.
All of them. Well, I'll tell you what though, I do, I love baking. So,
Okay.
yeah, I make these pizza scroll things that are just the bomb.
Pizza scroll.
Yeah, it's kind of these mini pizza bun things. They're
okay, that
awesome.
sounds awesome.
They're really delicious. The problem is when I make a batch, if I kind of follow the recipe, it makes 25 of these. There's enough calories to fuel a car to go around town twice, right? But the thing is, they're also they're not this kind of hand.
You're like, no, I'll just have one more.
Yeah, so I walk past the kitchen. I'm like, next thing you know, I've eaten 2 loaves of bread and a kilo of cheese or something. Right?
That's funny. I'm gonna need this recipe then. You can
100%. I'll send
DM that over because I have never even heard of something like that. Is it like a hot pocket?
Not quite. So all you do is you kind of roll out the dough, you put whatever you want, and then you kind of roll it back up. And then when you slice it, it kind of looks like a swirl.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like a cinnamon roll pizza.
Pretty much. Yeah. So in Australia, they're called scrolls. Yeah.
Scrolls. Okay.
Yeah. So you get pizza scrolls. Yeah. So I can eat those by the truckload.
Okay. That sounds amazing. Okay. Ideal submission to win a fight would be?
Tummies, arm triangles.
Okay.
It's just my favorite. I think a lot of the training I did with traditional stuff earlier on, we practiced a lot of them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they just come naturally to me. I don't know why, but when I roll 9 times out of 10, it'll be an arm triangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ideal KO to win a fight would be?
So, liver shot. Yeah.
Okay.
I trained with for many years with a guy by the name of Ollie Olsen. Ollie was a world Muay Thai champ, a couple of times Australian champ, nominal fighter, really, really good coach. His thing was always body shots.
Like hooks
Um,
or kicks?
yeah, no hooks. Yeah,
Hooks.
yeah, hooks. And he had like a whole like repertoire of here's how you get somebody with a shot. Like heaps of like tips, techniques, strategies, how you angle, how you get it right. And it's yeah, it's a he
Those are
definitely
ones
holds
where you're
like
like, please
a
don't
special
show me.
place.
I don't actually want to
Oh, they're the
feel
worst.
that.
And the thing is, like, he's got a great reputation around Perth in terms of both a fighter as a coach, and everybody that trains with him go like, yeah, man, like your body's gonna get sore. You're gonna eat body shots left, right, and center. So yeah, left hooks to the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Training morning, afternoon, or night?
Evening, yeah. For me, it's
Okay.
evening. I've just always done it. It just worked better for me. I don't love training super early in the morning. Like I take a bit of time to kind of switch into gear when it's
Yeah.
early, and also just from running a gym forever. Like most of your classes are at night. I just kind of got used to always just training from around 5 p.m. till 8:30 ish or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could train with any martial artist, alive or dead, it would be
Okay. Do I have to
impossible
pick one?
question. I know.
Yeah, impossible question.
I could see
Do
just the turmoil on your face there.
so much, so much. Do I pick just one? Look, if I
I mean, if you can't narrow it down to one, you can give a couple.
okay, so look, so I'll still say Gav because he's my favorite person to train with, and I still learn a ton from him every time I train with him. Vasily Lomachenko, like Loma is probably my favorite boxer ever. Man, just the stuff that he does, the way he thinks about fighting, yeah, mind blowing. So, Gavin Loma.
Very good. Your personal fuel before training is?
At the moment, like pre-workout and a banana.
Do
Yeah,
you have
black coffee if I train in the morning.
okay?
Yeah,
Do you have a favorite pre-workout brand, or do you kind of dabble?
I dabble, but non-stim, so like nothing with caffeine in it.
Okay.
Mostly because I train at night and I'm a very light sleeper, really sensitive
Yeah.
with sleep. I have a coffee like past midday. I'm up all night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that, and I will admit on the odd occasion, maybe a bit of chocolate now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Sugar, right? Gives you energy.
yeah. The phrase you repeat to yourself on hard days is
One job at a time. Yeah. So
very
I
good.
have a mind that goes a million miles an hour in all directions. And sometimes it's just like to narrow my focus into deal with the problem that's in front of you now, do what you
Mm-hmm.
need to do, then move on to the next thing. So
Yeah.
it's something I say a lot. Yeah.
A wellness habit you wish you started sooner is
Meditation. Yeah. So the last almost 4 years, I haven't missed a day. Like I do it every night, sometimes in the morning or during the day. And I think if I would have started that earlier on, it would save me a ton of grief in terms of sleep, first of all, but also all the effects that come from not sleeping and
mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff, especially when I was a bit younger and more, reckless and yeah.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
think meditation is one of these um I've had various responses when it comes to discussing meditation with individuals. Like some people are diehard and they're like, yeah. And then you get some that are like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but not for me.
yeah.
And it's another one of those things where I think just like as I feel with martial arts, everybody could benefit from meditation. And it is not an easy practice. And I think people go in thinking, oh, it's so simple. I should be able to get it right away.
Oh, it's the
And
worst. It's so hard.
yeah, it's so hard. And so I like that you bring up apps. And now there's so many out there.
Yeah.
One that I always kind of advocate for and bring up to my patients is one called Insight Timer. That's another
what
one
I've been using for the last 4 years. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
perfect.
awesome.
And that's one where I think it has an in-app where you can like get the, paid version of all the things, but it has so many free resources.
Like thousands. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another one, because I really am a person that like resonates with movement. And that to me is much easier for me to conceptualize and like actually feel like, oh, my body's getting something out of this. And so I even would recommend for people that are maybe willing to try some sort of meditative or mindfulness practices, maybe starting with something like, how you brought up a body scan or doing like a yoga practice that has maybe some incorporated meditation in it, just so you are getting movement and then really starting to listen to your body and kind of resonate with what your mind is doing, and then transitioning into something more stagnant, simple meditation.
Agreed.
But I would agree. I'm still in my exploration process, but I can't say enough good things about it. But it is just challenging. And so I get why people get a little bit discouraged or turned off by it, but really there's just so much benefit from it.
100%. No, it is super hard. And, I find, even though I wouldn't say I'm any good at it, but I've been very consistent. Like I said, I've been doing it for a few years now, every day for anywhere from 5 minutes to 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times where you go, I'm like, man, I'm just blissed out. I can observe my thoughts. I'm not getting caught up. There's other time I'll just sit here for 20 minutes, like ruminating, and only caught myself thinking about it once and be able to pull myself back. And there are days and there are days, but the main thing is just keep going. You do get better over time. Yeah. So 100% no, I wish I'd started that much, much earlier.
Question, actually, with having kids, I'm like, man, I mean, some of the practices that I've started, I mean, you've been in my 20s and my 30s, and still think there are practices that I'm going to venture into where I'm like, man, if I would have known this as a kid or a teenager, do you find yourself trying to, incorporate some of these techniques in with your kids? Because they're quite young, a 2-year-old and a 8-year-old, they're still trying to like regulate their little bodies, in their minds.
100%. No, my eldest and I, we meditate together quite regularly, quite often before she goes to bed. Like last night, like, hey, Melly, let's pull insight timer, pick a meditation you like. Let's do that for 10 minutes. We do that a lot.
That's awesome.
My 2-year-old already a couple of times she gets upset. I'm like, take a breath, and she's like, okay. And she does a couple of things. So both me and my wife are really big on trying to give them those tools and incorporate that. We do that together a lot. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You feel the most grateful when?
I see my kids happy, and when I finish sparring.
Did it?
There's 100%. There's this like sweet spot, like on Monday afternoons between 6 and 6:03, where I just finished MMA sparring and I'm just about to start teaching Krav, and I'm just like, I walk off the mat and I'm just like, this is the highlight of my week. I'm not gonna feel as good as this for the rest of the week. It's like my favorite. Just it's amazing.
That's awesome.
So no, I absolutely always grateful when I'm training, and then spending time with people I love. Yeah.
Very good. The best advice you ever received was?
Yeah, that's a tough one. The one that keeps coming in my mind, I don't know if it's necessarily the best one, but it's the first one that came up. So that's what I'm going to say is if you're going to try and teach assholes how to not be assholes, you'll have very little time left to anything else. Which to me just means, like focus on yourself first.
Okay. Say that again. Say it slowly.
If you're going to spend your time teaching assholes how to not be assholes, you'll have very little time left for anything else.
I love that. The assholes needed to hear that too.
100%. Pardon my French, but the best and first rule of self-defense is don't be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
In the old roadhouse, be nice until it's time to not be nice.
Yeah.
So there's a few of those, but no, I find like I'm an empathetic person, and I tend to have big feelings, and I tend to feel what people around me feel.
Mm-hmm.
So especially when I get caught up with people who are not always nice, I feel a lot.
Yeah.
So being able to go, hey man, you do you, brother. Cool, all good is valuable to me. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, good. We are going to move on to our roll call series now. Okay, so this is just questions from the audience. So these are questions that I pulled that were from friends, family, people that wrote in that I thought you'd maybe resonate with. We will see.
Cool.
So our first question is, are there techniques that look good in class but don't work in real life?
A lot of them. One of the things I really like is you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. And if anything you do in a real world situation approximates what you do in class, you're doing really well. But if we're looking at like maybe more specific kind of stuff, most spinning attacks look great, don't like your chances. Most flying attacks look great, don't like your chances. I'm a big fan of like the basics. Yeah. So most.
Yeah.
And anything that requires your partner to stand still to do.
Hmm.
Like so the
Yeah.
flying Superman pose with the arm extended and you're working like, 17 different wrist breaks. No.
um, okay, next question is carrying a weapon or self-defense tool actually a good idea?
Okay. Big question, important question. Number one, you have to check the legalities where you live before you carry anything
Yeah.
and use anything so you don't get into trouble.
Yeah.
Um, Now, the other thing is don't carry anything that you haven't practiced how to draw and use under stress multiple times. So people go, oh, I'll just carry pepper spray. I'm like, that's great. Is it legal in your all that kind of stuff. But now something happens. You're fumbling in your bag trying to get the thing out. You spray, you hold it the wrong way, you spray yourself. Like, have you practiced under stress getting what it is that you're wanting to use and deploying it? If the
Hmm.
answer is no, then don't. Or
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is what's most important for self-defense? Strength, fitness, awareness, or technique, or something else?
Mindset before anything else. You could have no technique. You may not be the strongest, most fast person in the world. But if your mindset is, I'm going home and I'm doing whatever I need to do to get home safe to my family, regardless of what happens, they'll serve you better than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Generally, when we teach, my my approach is we look at two things. We look at attributes and skills. So attributes are, strength, fitness, speed, power, um, you know, all the things you might work on in the gym, right? Maybe some things you can't work on in the gym, but like, big you are, injuries, et cetera, et cetera. If you're looking at skills, you're looking at your technical base, your ability to apply those, and then, some of the kind of more intangible skills, let's say like timing, distance, etc. All else being equal, right? So if you get two versions of Ron, just about to turn 43, one is super fit, super strong, super fast. You can hit him for days, doesn't give a shit. He's fearless, he's da 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 da. But like, when he fights, like puts his head down, start throwing windmills, right? The other version, on the do it in slow motion, everything's picture perfect, looks amazing, blah blah blah, but can't run a lap, can't do a single push up, you know. You push him once, like, please stop. My money's on the first guy at like nine times out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that we want to work on both.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be very, very technical and get destroyed by someone who is really strong. And, in jits, you see this, you get somebody who might be like, somebody who's a decent blue belt, even a decent purple belt, and you get like some super strong, massive white belt who comes through, just starts like tearing through people. Well, like purely because they're just like really strong, giving everybody a really hard time.
Yeah.
So needs to be a balance. And that
Yeah.
changes from person to person, right? Like we talked about that. Not everybody can do the same things. You want to make sure that you are the best version of yourself in terms
Yeah.
of attributes, whatever that is for you, while developing skill.
Yep.
But if you don't have the mindset, none of that matters.
Very good. Um, is sparring necessary for learning how to defend yourself?
I think so. It's important to note that sparring is not the same as self-defense, right? So by definition, when we look at combat sports, the idea is competition. We limit the rules, right? Weight divisions, rounds, what targets, what techniques you're allowed to do. What you can do in boxing, you can't do in Muay Thai. What you can do in Jiu-Jitsu, you can't do in fencing, whatever.
Mm.
So the rule set is meant to facilitate fair competition within that skill set. And we said weight divisions, rules. There's a referee who's going to stop you if you're getting hurt. Da, 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 when we look at competition and sparring, that is not the case when you're fighting outside of those. But sparring teaches you how to manage adrenaline, how to take a hit and give a hit, how to work with a dynamic, resisting opponent, which I kept saying was like one of the most important things, and I think lacks from a lot of self-defense training. It makes you physically and mentally tougher. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I think has to be done. And like as I mentioned it, like when we teach crowd, we want people to do self-defense. We want to be able to essentially do MMA. So spar, wrestle, and roll, integrate those. It doesn't mean you have to be a JIS black belt, a judo black belt, and a black singlet in Muay Thai or something like that. It just means that you need to have enough skills in each and enough experience in each in a dynamic and live way that no matter where you find yourself, you're going to go, "Nah, I've been here before."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I control fear or panic in self-defense or fighting situations?
Okay. So a lot of it comes down to what we said about managing adrenaline as well, and two are closely connected. I
Mhm.
think repetitive and realistic training is the best way to do it. Like find a
Mhm.
school that will help you do that in a safe and structured way. Because there are a lot of schools that go, cool, we do like they call it stress inoculation training. We're going to place you against the wall. You're going to have somebody standing like this close to you, and they're going to hurl abuse at you at the top of their voice, and you just have to stand there and take it. Like that is not always conducive to
Mhm.
anything good. Like, yeah, cool, I'm getting used to, but I also know the person's not going to hurt me.
Mhm.
If you have people who have suffered anything in the past, that will just trigger them beyond belief. Like that is not always good. So maybe there are ways that you can start building this slowly and work up to something like that if that is where you want to go. So I
Yeah.
think repetitive and realistic training, doing some visualizations is really important. And, you know, we talked about this, like, what if something happened? How would I respond?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of research that shows, you know, when we visualize something, we actually go through the same neural pathways. We build them. It's almost the same as having the experience.
Mhm.
So if you want to give yourself the experience, you can give yourself some similarity or some semblance of that through visualization. Again, provided it is done the right way, and there are plenty of ways to teach people how to do that. General fitness and health. And then again, sparring, I think, is a good way. Like knowing that you can take a hit and give a hit and you won't break. Um, Super important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So sparring brings you into that realm, like you're forced to, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things that we see, you know, when we talk about one of the most common kind of comments we get is like, I don't know if I could hit somebody. Like, well, let's test it out. Let's get you
Mhm.
used to that again in a safe and structured way. So you're comfortable because the reality is if you are going to get in real violent situations, two things are going to happen. Somebody's going to hit you. You're going to have to hit somebody else.
Mhm.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's practice doing that here. And my experience, the experience I've had with other people who have trained to go into the situation where somebody has hit me, was injured, I was like, man, I get hit way harder than that on a
Mhm.
regular basis. So like, boom, so, yeah, that wasn't that bad at all.
Right.
The fear is different in terms of how you react to it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think repetitive, realistic training, visualization, breathing, sparring,
Love it. What age should kids start learning self-defense or start martial arts?
as soon as they can. You know, some schools take kids as young as 3. Some schools don't start till 7 or 8. I
Mhm.
think it's important to recognize that if you put your kid as a 3-year-old in martial arts, they're not learning martial arts. They're having like a physical activity class that has martial arts movements
Yeah.
into it. Like they're not going to be, you know, doing flying spinning kicks off the wall or matrix moves anytime soon. But it gives them a base and it's important.
Yeah.
So my opinion is as soon as possible,
Yeah.
with the caveat that I think there are a couple of things that are important. Number one, they have to have fun. You know, you don't want to force your kid to do something for them to hate. I think the most important thing for me was when I was looking for classes for my daughter was I want stuff that's got lots of games. I want stuff that's really engaging. And you watch the classes where they run them, and then it's a party. Like I want to jump in. It just looks great. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's like lots of games, lots of fun, lots of
Yeah.
energy. So she just loves going,
Yeah.
and that hopefully means she's going to keep training.
Yeah.
So number one is find a place where they can have fun. Number
Mhm.
two is find a place that will also instill the kind of values that you would want instilled in
Mhm.
your kids. And that could be different from person to person. The martial arts generally, you know, people talk about the same kind of things, you know, discipline, respect, et cetera, which I think is great. But find a coach and an environment that you think your kid will enjoy and they will get those kind of things out of that.
Right. How can parents teach their kids to be safer without scaring them?
Turn it into a game. Right. So we don't have to talk about things in the context of something scary. I think one of the beautiful things about being more situationally aware is you start noticing the world around you more. So I play these games with my daughter, for example. We'll sit down, whatever, we'll sit at a shopping center and I'll have a coffee and she'll have whatever she's having. You go, hey, Melody, let's people watch. When you watch most of the people around you, are they walking fast or are they walking slow or somewhere in the middle? And she kind of look around for him. So, I think they're walking slow. Huh? Great. When they're walking around, are they carrying things? Do they have, well, are they holding things or are they carrying things? Or they have nothing in their hands. You look around, some are carrying things, some are holding things. Okay, great. What kind of stuff are they doing? So we just engage with the environment.
Yeah.
A really good game that we teach it to adults, but it's really great for kids in terms of both situational awareness and kind of target hardening. Which again, I'm stealing from Rich Dimitri here is the give it a name game. So as you walk down the street, take your headphones out, put your phone away, um, walk down the street and say, what are the things that you see and hear? Sorry, I should say it in your head, not out loud. Otherwise,
Okay.
you're that person that people are trying to avoid. So for example, I might be walking and I might go, oh, there's a car driving to my left, to my right. I'm not looking at the screen to my right. So, and I look at the car. Somebody running to my left. So I in my head, I'm saying what I'm hearing or seeing, and I'm looking there. A couple of things happen then. I'm consciously engaged with my environment. I'm identifying what is happening, which can help you start baselining, identify outliers, etc. But it also means if somebody's looking at me, they see that I'm constantly scanning and checking, it's going to be much harder to surprise me. Less
Mm-hmm.
likely I'm going to be taken unawares, less likely to be selected in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So there are games like that, which I think can be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to memorize things, so again, maybe you go into a shopping mall, you go somewhere, cool. We're going to walk in through this door. I want you to try and remember the route back. So when we go back from the shops, you tell me where we need to go. And I want you to also tell me if you can remember where the bathroom is on the way. So she's going to walk around. She's going to, oh, yeah, no, take a left here, go right there. The bathroom's on that side. Cool.
Yeah.
Change the bathroom to the emergency exit, and there you go.
Yeah. So good, though. It's the littlest things, though, that can grab their attention and still be fun.
Totally. Yeah. So, it doesn't have to be a scary conversation. Like we also said, when she was really little, I played a lot of games like, okay, we're going to play say no. It was like a game. So she's holding a toy, and I'm like, I'm going to take your toy, and I want you to say, no, give it back. This is my turn. She's like, no, give it back. I give it back to her. We do that a couple of times. Now I'm going to go, cool, we're going to change the rules a little bit. If I don't give it back, I want you to think how you can say it in a way that will make you give it back. So I take it, give it back. And I'm like, no. She said, I asked, please give it back. I'll give it back. So she'll be more assertive. I'll just say, please give it back. If I said it, and so she kind of plays around with like the tone and how to say like what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
So there's lots of games you can play, and those skills that will prevent bad things from happening. They'll help them manage conflict. They'll make them more aware without making them paranoid.
Yeah. So good. What's something you've changed your mind about over the years?
Everything? Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I think I've become a lot more moderate in my opinions about things in general. Like I used to, like I said, I'm a person of big feelings. So, whether we're talking about, politics, about social justice, about this, about the other, I was always like, on one, regardless of the opinion of the sides, I don't, not getting into that, but I would get quite, and over time, I was like, what? I think usually there's a solution in the middle that we need to look at. And how do we learn from everybody and find the middle road?
Yeah.
I think that's something that's over time is, like there doesn't have to be a wrong and a right. There's usually a ton of gray in the middle. And that's my experience and my thought is usually that's where the answer usually tends to lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think even sometimes too, just even if you are well intentioned, and I personally think about my upbringing, and I think it was like very positive. I was very close with my family. I thought I had a good, spiritual connection. I believed in the political thoughts of my parents. They seemed right, and like
Yeah.
who I was around. And I grew up in a really small town in like farming community, and
Yeah.
I
Right.
think all of that was well intentioned, and I don't necessarily disagree with any of those thoughts or beliefs or that mindset right now. But I also have ventured out into the world
Yeah.
and have seen and heard and interacted with so many other perspectives that I'm like, I'm not even that same person anymore.
No, absolutely.
So thankfully, my thoughts and mind has been changed, but not necessarily because everything was bad or wrong. It was just, I feel like it's growth, and that's where growth should
Yeah,
be for everybody.
totally. Agreed. And I guess the other thing is, pineapple does belong on pizza.
Hey, I actually am not a hater of pineapple. I'll eat a pizza with pineapple, so
Agreed. Used to hate it. Now I'm sold. Yeah.
people might be listening and like instantly unsubscribe, who like
Yeah, that's
canceled.
right.
But okay, do you put the pineapple in your pizza roll? Or what are they called? Scrolls?
Scrolls, yeah. I haven't actually. I might try it now.
Okay.
I haven't. I might try that now that we've spoken about it. Yeah.
Okay, last one from our audience is, what are you still trying to learn or improve on in your own training right now?
At the moment, there are a couple of things. I used to do a lot of jits. I took a break because I kept getting broken, and my body just doesn't seem to handle that particularly well. So I've recently just gone back, and I'm actually really enjoying it. The people that I train with they're really phenomenal coaches. The training environment is great, and I think also the class that I jump into is kind of like a recap class for the week. So there's a lot of drilling, there's some positional stuff, there's flow rolling, there's not as much like let's fight to the death,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm just not interested in at all.
Yeah.
So with a lot of my training, I've gone back to doing more jits. I work a lot more on like, timing, distance, like live low sparring rather than hard stuff for a couple of reasons. One, been there, done that. Don't feel like I've got anything to prove. I know I can do it. I do it every so often to remind myself that I can, but it doesn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
the be all end all. And as
Yeah.
you get older, your body just, like I get broken more easily. It takes more time to recover.
Yeah.
Other things matter more, like I said, in terms of family or work, etc. So I really focus a lot more on those kind of, yeah, flow, time, distance, training in a way that will allow me to keep training for as long as I possibly can because it's the thing that I love doing the most.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm sitting in the moment, like grappling and training in a way that is more sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But where you can still see growth.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
Absolutely.
that. Good. Just a quick heads up before we keep going. If you hear a book, product, or resource mentioned on this episode that you want to check out, I've got you covered. Everything we talk about will be linked in the show notes for easy access. And if you're looking for more recommendations from past guests, I've put together a full running list so you can explore anytime. Just head over to my link tree in the description, or you can find it on Instagram at @thegrippod. All right, let's get back to it. All right, last but not least, we are moving on into our word into wisdom section. So this is where you will start with either the naughty list or the nice list. The naughty list is more challenging words. You'll choose a word from 1 to 100. Our nice list is more motivational, uplifting terms. So you get to choose. Do you want to start with naughty or nice?
Let's go naughty.
All right. Now 1 to 100.
72.
72. Okay. Your word is harshness, communicating with unnecessary severity or cruelty.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So like I'm just going kind of stream of consciousness here with whatever comes to my head. But in terms of coaching and training, been in situations where coaches were very harsh in terms of either feedback or sometimes even just like physical stuff. Like we'll bash somebody or we'll like physical punishments and things. And I don't think that achieves a great deal when your goal is to empower people.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a small number of people who react well to that kind of stuff. Okay, there's a time and a place, maybe. I don't know. I think that, if you train in an environment that is like that, it might turn you into a person who's harsh outside of the house. And that's going to lead to more conflict, not less.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, creates more conflict than less. Not a huge fan. And if you find that you are being harsh, is there a better way to deliver the message without the emotional damage that a harsh approach can cause? Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I'm not sure, like in some of the gym settings that you've been in, have you been the lead role or just a part of a team for these spaces?
So with Combat Arts Institute, it was me and Noah who owned and ran the business. So I was,
Yeah.
a small business owner who was also a coach, who was also training.
Yeah.
And in other positions, like with the bar now, so I'm the head of the Krav Maga program. So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not involved in the business. Though sometimes I might throw ideas or things like that. I'm
Sure.
focused more on what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, so as you've been like a leader or as a part of a group who leads within the gym community, have
Mm.
you ever worked in an environment or where you've worked with somebody else who maybe has a harsher approach? And how did you handle that? Did it ever come down to a discussion or just like, I'm going to let them do the style that they prefer? Or how do you
That
go about
depends a
that?
great deal on the context. So
Yeah.
when it was my business, we'd have a conversation if that was becoming an issue. Going
Mm-hmm.
like, look, you said X, Y, or Z, or you behave in X, Y, and Z. That's not how we teach here, or that's not how we treat our customers, or that's not how we talk to people, or depending on what the comment was and how,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on the person and how many times it happened, what was said, either
Yeah.
we ask to moderate or change, or there might be a harsher conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Going like whether this is right for you or not.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is always to give the opportunity to learn first, especially if it was not intentional or not malicious or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? So always help people grow and learn and the opportunity. When it's not
Yeah.
my business,
Yeah.
that's a very different approach
Yep.
because then hey, not my place.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with other coaches in gyms where I've just taught. It wasn't my place, and the coach said something I thought was a bit. I just always after class, never in front of people, never anything.
No,
I just
yeah.
go like, "Hey man, just want to give you my 2 cents. This was said. I don't think it's great." And I'll explain why. For you as the business owner, I think if you say this and that, people might not sign up, or people might leave, or these kind of people might feel uncomfortable. Maybe have a think about that. Let me know what you reckon. And they
Mhm.
can say, hey, great, or you can tell me to fuck off. I don't know. Like it's up
Yeah.
to you at that point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on to our nice list. Um,
Cool.
1 to 100.
Let's go 24.
Okay. 24 is commit. So to carry into action deliberately.
Amazing. A couple of things, right? So in the context of training for real growth balance, if you can't commit to what you're doing, it's not going to work. So we talked about the mindset thing. If your idea is to get home safe, and that is what driving you, then you have to commit to whatever course of action you're going with and execute that. You still need to adapt, plan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like commitment to the course of action you're taking is super important.
Mhm.
With the recognition that you might also have to adapt and change. Right? So we don't want to commit and go, and this is what I'm doing, and that's the end of it. I commit to it until it doesn't work for me anymore. Then I commit to something else. I think the word is closely in my mind connected also to, I guess, to consistency and perseverance and integrity. So if you say you're going to do something, then do it. Like commit to what you're saying and what you're doing. They should be one and the same. If you commit to something, even if it doesn't go your way the first time, keep pushing, keep trying, keep learning. Um, and just because it's hard doesn't mean that you get to renege your commitment. And that's same for a job you might not like. You start a new job, you go, oh, first week I don't like it. Well, are you going to quit, or are you going to commit for X amount of time and go, can I make this work for me? Relationships, so you made the commitment to be a devoted partner, parent, son, daughter, sibling, uncle, what have you. Then yeah, I think word is bond. I think those things are important. If you commit to something, stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing to do.
Yeah.
And also you're not going to see growth in terms of training. You got to have a little bit of faith in the people who are teaching you, that even if things don't work exactly how you want them the first time, if you're committed to the training, you will see the results over time.
Yeah.
You have to do this thing 5,000 times before you get good at it. Like, it's fine. But
Yep.
you're not going to get there if you stop after one or two or 10 or 100.
Truly. Very good.
Yeah.
Very well-rounded too. Ron,
Thank you.
you've just been the greatest. I truly
Oh, thank you.
appreciate it. For those listening or watching, if you want to, well, first off, and I didn't say this in the other episode, is if you are in Australia, what part of Australia are you in?
Okay, I'm in Perth, which is in Western Australia. We are like the opposite side to where all the stuff that people know.
Okay.
Melbourne, Sydney, etc. So we're like kind of 4 or 5 hour flights west from there. So
Okay.
Perth, I believe it's the most isolated city in the world. We're
Okay.
like
Well,
we're in the middle of nowhere.
if you feel like going to the middle of nowhere or in the most isolated city or just a really cool,
It's a very beautiful middle of nowhere. But
there we
yeah,
go. If you're in the area in Perth, please go check out the Barn Martial Arts, and give one of Ron's classes a try. How often are
please.
you teaching, Ron?
So I teach at the moment just twice a week, Mondays, Wednesdays. We've got another craft class there on a Saturday mornings, which is run by Dave Congerton, who's a phenomenal coach. We've trained together for like 15 years. But the thing that's really cool about the barn is, I mentioned the need for cross training, which I think is so important. So after I left combat arts and I was looking for a new place to train, I wanted a place that will have, for me, first of all, the right culture. Like I said, that's a
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiable, but also a place that if I were to teach there, I would have the ability to give people well-rounded skills outside of crafts. So, the coaching team there is amazing. So we got boxing, we got kickboxing and Muay Thai, we got MMA, no-gi grappling. The owner Wes is a former world kickboxing champion, held a bunch of Australian titles in boxing and MMA and Muay Thai. Danny, who coaches MMA and the fighters, is the guy who's my boxing coach as well. Phenomenal coach. Seb, who runs the no-gi classes, is a Legends currently Australian MMA champion, one of our promotions here. I can keep rambling on. The
Yeah.
coaches are just amazing.
Yeah.
The vibe is really nice. And one of the things that's really cool is you jump into an MMA class, you're going to have a lot of people who maybe, are hobbyists. You're going to get a bunch of people who are maybe prepping for the first amateur fight, a few people who are transitioning from amateur to pros, and maybe a couple of guys who are like world champs.
Yeah.
And everybody trains like really respectfully at a pace that suits you. Like nobody goes home with, missing teeth or concussions or broken
Yeah.
things. Like it is awesome.
So cool.
So from my perspective, I can go, hey guys, come do the self-defense stuff with me. You want to do boxing, go over there. You want to work in grappling, do it here. Bring it back here. We'll tie it all together.
Yeah, love that. And the
Yeah.
space seems really cool just from what I can see on social media,
Yeah.
the videos. It's super unique and it seems pretty
Yeah.
big. And is it two
It is.
stories also?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the first story is like the martial arts space. The second story is like a gym.
Yeah, that's
So like
awesome.
a weights training area. Yeah. And there's like right at the back, there's like a cool little cage area.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really fun.
sweet. That's awesome. So, for those listening, if you're in Perth, want to go on a cool little vacay, go check out the Barn Martial Arts, and they'll hook you up.
Thanks.
Or if anything else, go check out their website, and I will link your website, Ron, the Barnes website, and your guys' Instagram. If those are
Awesome.
listening right now, though, what is your Instagram handle?
Mine is just Ronam. RONIN, yeah.
Or the Barnes is the Barn Martial Arts Fitness. I'll be putting all of those in the show notes, so give them a follow and support along the way. Ron, it's been an absolute pleasure. I said, I appreciate your time. It's just been amazing. And so I look forward to following along. And once my husband and I are ready to make the leap over to Australia, you'll be one of the first to know.
Please. Thanks so much, Kaylee. It's been a ton of fun. And again, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to The Grip. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow along on Instagram at The Grip Pod to stay up to date on new episodes. That way you can send over a DM if you've got a question you'd like to hear answered on our roll call series. Now remember, stay sharp, be grounded, and never lose your grip. See you next time.